I'm teaching 1 Corinthians, yes. And Carl is doing that as well. Carl will tell us more when he gets here.
That is not how it's going to work at all. I'm not a professional editor. Oh, bro, this is like
how it works.
This is James Corden carpool karaoke on a budget, bro. Yeah. Bro, we need you're obs guy, so you need a. Where's a sick place to like pick up a coffee?
There's actually a coffee shop called St. James.
Okay.
Yo,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah,
Good day.
it's nice.
In
little
spiritual,
observatory, yeah.
Not
Yeah, I like to support the church. Yeah.
Yeah. So for each of you guys, just a quick one. What is kind of like the funniest memory you have since you've been in full-time ministry?
When I was like a fresh young curate at church and trying to show everybody that I actually know what I'm doing here. And it was Sunday morning service and it was communion and I'm like overseeing my first, I'm the new guy now, I've got to show what I know what I'm doing. And I'm doing everything all very smartly and trying to look all like a holy pastor. This girl gets out of the chairs and starts walking up the aisle towards the front, to the table, to the communion table. And the stewards are still walking around handing out the communion. So I put on my very sort of sanctified face and lean down to the girl to hear what she has to ask the great pastor. And I put my ear down to her and she goes up to me and she says, "My mommy says to tell you that your fly is open."
Oh man. Oh my God.
I think it's funny because ministry, obviously, it's so public. So when you make mistakes, you're doing it in front of the congregation.
Yeah.
So,
And they'll regularly remind you.
yeah.
This is a kind of a humorous question, but it could get really deep at the same time. Your 14-year-old self, like if your 14-year-old self had to come into contact with you on CrossFit, what would their opinion be of you?
It's like an Inception kind of question.
Yeah.
It's like the third layer of the dream.
I guess surprised in one way. To be a minister of the gospel. Yeah, so surprised and intrigued.
Intrigued.
Yeah.
Like what happened to this guy?
What happened to this guy?
Sure, so if I had to meet myself when I was 14, is that the question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you, at the camp?
If you bumped
into your 14-year-old self at CrossFit,
what would that
like
14-year-old
Wilfred
self?
Sebden.
Yeah, well, it's actually interesting you asked because I was on one of the first CrossFit camps in Cape Town.
Yeah, OG,
And it was-
come
I
on.
think it was 98 or 99. I was, grade 8. So I think like sometimes people underestimate you because you're younger. They think that you're not dealing with deep things. But you're dealing with real sin and, dealing with questions you have about your future and your friends. And so, I think I'd like to have a conversation with him about, maybe not assuming he doesn't know what he's going through and things like that. You can just look back and just see God's grace, because, you made so many mistakes after that and, you walked away from Christ and He brought you back. So just, you can look back with thanks at how He works in our lives, just sovereign. Like I would have never thought like I would ever be on the camp, like as a leader, like let alone ever teaching the Bible there and everything. So
Come on.
yeah.
That's great.
That's
Yeah.
excellent. Is there anything else you need from us?
No, bro. I think we'll see you guys on camp.
Great.
Hopefully.